What is up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna do something a little different. I wanted to make this new series called Campfire Stories, and I wanted to talk about a bunch of different things like myths and legends and even stuff from history to kind of give you guys a little bit of an inspiration for your book writing to use in your world, or for characters or character arcs or anything like that. I thought it would be very interesting to kind of pull inspiration, because that's what I do, is I pull inspiration from all kinds of stuff and then I twist it and make it my own. But hey, you can't have a campfire story without a campfire. So guess what I did? I made a campfire. Is it a poorly drawn campfire? Yes it is. But that is okay. Now we have our campfire, now we can talk some story stuff. And today what I wanted to talk about is Cecaelia. Cecaelia are a mythological creature that is half human, half octopus. Its origins were said to come from Native American mythology as well as Asian mythology. However, I couldn't really find too much on the Asian mythology side, but I found quite a few things in the Native American mythology. The octopus in general in some of the northwest coast tribes of British Columbia, as well as Alaska, the octopus plays a very prominent role in their medicine. They thought it was a very strong medicinal animal and was considered to have very great powers to control the weather as well as sickness and health. And these people kind of revered it. So one really major story that I kind of found in my research, it was a very common story, and it is from a Native American legend about a raven pestering a Cecaelia, or an octopus. And it kind of starts off with her kind of disguised as a human with 8 very long braids, and she's going along the shore digging for clams, and this raven man comes up and kind of starts to pester her, asking her what she's doing, why she's doing it, and she's at first kind of ignoring him, not really giving him any attention. And in doing that, he pesters her even more, and until she gets to a point where she's had it, and she changes her form to show her true form as a Cecaelia, and she pins him down onto the shore and actually rises the water level up the shore until he drowns, and she leaves him there for dead. And as this happened, the Raven tribe that he was a part of watched this whole thing. They didn't really take too much heed on it, mainly because he was very well known as being a trickster, so they didn't really think too much of it. And a day later, he comes back perfectly fine, but he learned his lesson and not to bug the octopus people. And that was like kind of his lesson as to not pester those people. And that was like the main story that I could find about Cecaelia in the Native American mythology. In my research, I found some more information about sea witches, and in a lot of pop culture, especially like Ursula and her sister Morgana, that's what they were considered, was sea witches. And So I looked up sea witch, and a lot more stuff popped up actually. And there was one thing in particular that there were a bunch of stories all over the world, kind of, well, not all over the world, but along the coastlines for sure, about sea witches selling sailors, and not just sailors, but very superstitious sailors. They sold them ropes with 3 knots in them. And these sailors would take these ropes with them out to sea. So if they wanted a gentle southeasterly wind, they would untie the first knot. If they wanted a stronger northerly wind, then they would untie the second knot. However, most sailors would keep the 3rd knot untouched because there's a very strong possibility that it could unleash a hurricane, and many sailors wanted to stay away from that. However, upon selling these, or even just in passing by, if a sea witch would come up to you and possibly want to talk to you, or even wished to sell you some of her goods, and if they treated her rudely, or if they insulted her beauty or anything like that, she would actually spit on the 3rd knot and untie it to unleash a great hurricane just for spite. And I thought that was really cool. And there was a lot of other little stories about sea witches, especially with grieving loved ones. They would sit on the shores of the beach, and they would throw in a coin or something valuable, and they would beg for their loved ones' bodies to be brought up from the depths of the ocean to be buried properly. The sea witches were also known to go down into shipwrecks and actually take out valuable stuff and sell it. They would basically kind of haggle and sell these valuable items for these people because they were able to actually go down and grab these things. But those were mainly a lot of the stories that I found. There were a bunch of other stories and things about witches in general, but regular witches pursuing the craft of a sea witch and using their powers to manipulate the wind and the sea, as well as use their powers for medicinal purposes as well. And those were I think the main 3 things that they were very well known for was medicinal purposes, or controlling the wind as well as the water around them. They were very powerful beings. And I just always thought that they were so cool, and I think they never have enough representation in stories. Because honestly, when you say half human, half octopus, I think Ursula from The Little Mermaid. But that's what I really wanted to talk about with this mythological creature. There's actually very little stories about them, and I feel like they're really cool creatures that you could have as either an antagonist or a protagonist, or even a side character, to kind of further your plot along. You don't have to, obviously, but they're really cool to look at, and definitely look into them. If I've missed anything about these creatures, definitely let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This was my Campfire series. If you guys enjoyed it, please press that like button. If you guys want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!